Thanks, everyone.
Good evening, everybody. Round 17 action about to come your way from Cromer Park. It's Manly United hosting Blacktown City FC. 1-2, 1-2. Testing that and go one up. This is as loud as we'll go. Way up in the air. There we go.
No football today, though, unfortunately. Still got it. What's going on? Danger zone. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Cromer Park for NPL New South Wales and round 17 between your Manly United FC and Blacktown City. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, first off, the canteen is open. I'm on the end of the ground, serving drinks and refreshments, and the far post will be open throughout the entirety of this afternoon and this evening's proceedings. Our first match-up is up for the evening session for 5 o'clock is first grade NPL New South Wales men's. That kick-off is scheduled in 10 minutes' time. The under-20 will be playing at 7 o'clock tonight. Big match-up here for both teams, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, look forward to NPL New South Wales men between your Manly United FC and Blacktown City. Ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for the lineups to be finally confirmed. In the meantime, we can give you the lineups for Blacktown City for first grade. For Blacktown City, number 1, Caden Henderson. Number 3, Lachlan Silk. Number 4, Nick O'Brien. Number 7, Travis Major. Number 8, Jack O'Brien. Number 10, Maxine Jennett. Number 11, Kadai Tanaka. Number 15, Caleb Jackson Brown. Number 19, Sebastian Hayward. Number 22, Jacob Menidi. And number 27, Nathan Grimaldi. And on the bench, number weekend adventures, book our Mazda office, full Mazda range with an easy and enjoyable car buying experience. Come in and see the team at Mazda or visit their website for a test drive at www.mazda.com.au. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point we're still waiting for the final submission for the Manly United lineup. Ida, if you can hear me, please submit it ASAP. Auto Body Smash Repair is your local smash repair expert here on the North Beach. Whether it's a small head or a major repair, this skilled team will get you back on the road quickly and safely. Top quality workmanship, hassle-free service, Auto Body Smash Repair is the trusted name in smash repair. Located at 537 foot, we've got feet covered. Best brands like Hoka, On, Hooks and Assets, Lazy Comfort Technology. Visit us in the centre today at Warringah Mall and step into ultimate comfort. The athlete's foot, fit every run.
How are you? Very well. Very well. I thought I saw you from a distance. Let's say hi quickly. How are you? How are you? Nice to meet you. Yeah, let me play with that. What's your... Anthony, how are you?
Somber, it'll be somber start.
Are you announcing?
Yeah, I am. There's going to be a somber start today as well, so just stand by.
The last time I played, people said
right. Many years ago.
15 years ago or so. That's your fault. Yeah, right. Nice. Ah, yes. Yes. Nice one. Yeah, well, family real. We actually got the sponsor my son's wedding.
Oh, right. Oh, nice.
It's a pub. I'm a business pub. But I'm gonna head back anyway. But I thought I'd quickly say hi.
Those are all the two teams out of the field tonight. Round 17 of NPL New South Wales Men's. Blacktown City and your Manly United FC.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cromer Park for round 17 action in the NPL New South Wales men's competition. A battle down the bottom, not one we've become accustomed to, given the relative success of these two over the past decade. So 3 points crucial as Manly United host Blacktown City on Saturday night. Alex Molchanov delighted to be along with you this evening. A rematch of 2022's grand final and a quite dramatic preliminary semi-final matchup here 4 years ago. Not quite the tension-filled occasion this evening, but with 4 points separating the two combatants coming into the evening, Blacktown have an opportunity to haul themselves out of the relegation playoff place by dragging Manly United right back into the scrap. Just about to pause for a minute's silence to remember the memory of Daniel Greco.
For Blacktown City, we learned of the passing of one of their young juniors, Levi Rodenberg, passing away from cancer during the course of the
And as you heard from Anthony Caruso over the PA, Levi Rodenberg.
Over the past 2 weeks as well, Manly United FC and the Mandarin Football Association has learned of the passing of Daniel Greco. The Greco family have played a significant role in supporting football across the Northern Beaches and are a true pillar of the Manly football community, particularly at Manly Vale FC. Daniel was a familiar and valued presence at matches for both Manly Vale and Manly United. A passionate supporter of the game, he was always willing to lend a hand whenever needed, often seen assisting with closing up at the end of the play alongside his father Ozzy and his brother Rob. We extend our deepest condolences to the entire Greco family and the wider Manly Vale SC community. We now ask everyone to please be upstanding for a minute's silence in honour of Levi Rodenberg and Daniel Greco.
Two sad losses to the footballing communities of Manly United and the Blacktown District. Beautifully observed minute silence. Now time for the football to commence, and time for us to bring you the team news. Manly United making just the one change, an enforced one from their 2-1 win over St George City at Penshurst Park a week ago. So Harry Turner resumes in goal. Jesse Perez starts at right back, captaining the team, with Aaron O'Driscoll and Jasper Chipman, the centre halves again. Kakero Ono got on the score sheet for the first time as a Manly United player last weekend in the league. Luke Neuenhoff and Saxon Hillier, the base of the the midfield trio, I should say. Darcy Burgess at the point of that triangle. Will Fulder off the right, Stefan de Robillard off the left, and Kai Evans making his first start since round 8 against Sutherland, restored in place of the injured Sam Griffiths. For Blacktown City, 3 changes from the team that were beaten 2-0 by Sydney Olympic. Mark Crittenden rung the changes for the midweek defeat against Sydney United as well. 3 changes from that team to this one tonight. Caden Henderson back in goal. Nathan Grimaldi, Lachlan Tilt, Nick O'Brien, the retained 3 at the back, with Sebastian Hayward expected to start in a fullback role. Jacob Maniti in for Adam Berry at the base of their midfield trio. Caleb Jackson-Brown partnering Kodai Tanaka as the more attacking of the trio. Maxim Yez expected to push forward. Travis Major on a flank, and Jack O'Brien leading the line, with Nicholas Skatarich dropping to the bench.
Big game here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get behind the spirit of what brings us here together.
So Blacktown needed 3 points to drag them out of the relegation playoff places. Disappointed to be defeated in the Cup in midweek, but knowing a little less football at this stage in the season may well benefit them. Manly United know with a victory here they could move towards the top half, continue their hunt for finals football. It is so tight behind the top six in terms of those chasing and those actually trying to pull themselves out of danger in terms of relegation. A 0-0 draw back in round two may have given us a glimpse of the tight, tense evening of football ahead. Have been some high-scoring thrillers between these two in recent history as well. So not quite a certainty of what to expect. Blacktown City's attack has not been their issue. It's been the leaky defence that's been the worry. Manly United's problems this season quite the opposite. Whilst the defence has looked sturdy at times, struggled to find the back of the net. Took two stunners last weekend for them to get over St George City. Widely acknowledged as one of the tougher trips in the competition recently. It was a critical 3 points for them away from home. They've been a much better team here at Cromer than they have been generally speaking on the road this year. So that result a little unexpected. Perhaps a source of confidence for them as well. Not necessarily early. Nick O'Brien has had a mixed season. Looks as though he's been shifted to right back tonight with Grimaldi partnering Lockie Tilt in the heart of defence. Tilt carrying the ball forward, looking for that incisive pass. Hilliard playing disruptor. Tanaka, who's such an all-action midfielder, the Japanese workman, shall we call him. Nice touch forward from Burgess for de Robillard. It's all very tight and tense and edgy in the early stages. Lovely bit of skill from de Robillard. Caught a few out. Jacob Maniti stretching to keep the ball in play. The Filipino underage international didn't quite manage it. As we told you in the pre-game, it's about as low on the table as you can remember these two coming together, particularly this late in the season. Blacktown looking for their first victory here since back in 2023. 2-0 win on that night, both goals coming inside the opening 25 minutes as Chipman gets into a wrestling match with Jack O'Brien and is strong enough to hold off his more senior opposition. Tactical change from Mark Crittenden by the looks of things tonight as well. Setting up in a back five, Maxim Yej on the left-hand side, Tanaka on the right. And although Nick O'Brien had gone into that right back position early, it looks as though as he's sweeping behind Tilton Grimaldi. So perhaps the focus on defence tonight. Has been acknowledged by some travelling to Cromer that the best way to get past Manly is to ask them to break you down with a glut of possession. They didn't manage to do it here a couple of weeks ago against Wollongong Wolves, where they dominated territory and possession but couldn't find the back of the net. Timing pressing actions like these is going to be critical for Blacktown City tonight. Jackson Brown brought in for his enthusiasm off the ball. Ball over the top is a tricky one for Grimaldi to deal with. He did a good enough job of that. This is the formation Mark Crittenden won the championship with it back in 2022. Nick O'Brien, a very big part of that. One of the few remaining, particularly in the back line from those premiership days. Departures of Grant Lynch and Lockie Campbell put a certain end of an era feel with them. Their new side, NSW, getting up with a 1-0 victory over Wollongong Wolves today. Snapped their long unbeaten run. Here's Evans, brought in from the start today. Asking the question of Tilt defensively. Laying it off for Chipman and Hilliard. Well cut out by Tanaka. O'Brien with it pinched off his toe again by Chipman. brought into first grade as a central midfielder. It's been relied upon pretty heavily by Vlado Knežević as a centre half this year, the 19-year-old. Vaunted for his ball-playing ability, but growing in stature as a leader of their backline as well. He's had a pretty solid defensive partner in Aaron O'Driscoll next to him for the majority of the year as well. Big test with Jack O'Brien running at him today, though. Again, Shipman across to time the challenge well and distribute calmly. Fulda. One of those changes made by Knežević over the last couple of weeks, which has brought results with them. Robillard looking for something audacious. Cut out initially by Jackson Brown. Now Ono, one of the heroes last weekend, along with his countryman Kimura. Neuenhoff. Well, predicted the setup at Blacktown might see Manly United with a lot of the ball. That's what we're seeing in the opening 5 minutes or so. De Robillard shadowed the whole way by Tilt. No whistle blown by Ivica Kovic, who's had a busy week. He was in charge of the Australia Cup preliminary round 7 clash between Sydney Olympic and Fraser Park on Wednesday night. See the quality of goals and the drama of that one here again today. He'd be pretty happy. Jackson Brown opening up the play for Yej. Well, I don't know whether he was searching for Jack O'Brien or Tanaka. They couldn't sort it out between themselves. Think about the broader story. Mark Crittenden's unprecedented run of success at the head of Blacktown City. His 16th season in charge. Haven't missed finals since the COVID pandemic shortened season in 2020. Lowest finish under Crittenden is 6th back in 2013. Looking like they're going to be doing well to get back and top that this year, but the signs were looking promising a few weeks ago. They went through a run of significant number of games, 6 games unbeaten. The end of April and beginning of March, including a couple of key cup victories over close rivals Blacktown Spartans and St George FC. Had the club feeling a bit better about itself, but the 2-0 defeat by Sydney Olympic has thrust them right back down amongst the relegation picture. Something no judges had really looked at in pre-season. Thought it might be a little bit of a leaner year because of the departures, but it's rather blown those expectations out of the water. De Robillard getting the better of Tanaka. And good covering defence from Lachlan Tilt. He's been one of the standout players, really, amongst a pretty difficult year. He's had to fight for his place in the first team. So he's been up amongst the most consistent performers. Look on by Jackson Brown. Blacktown City looking to go pretty direct in the opening 10 minutes. Pires. For Manly United, the test is going to be to have a little bit more incisiveness in their play than they've managed over the last month or so. Two goals Manly scored against St George City last weekend. Was only the second time in the last couple of months that they managed to find the back of the net twice. That's that since the start of June. After a big cup win against Sutherland Sharks, that was an upset victory with a very young team that night. Had some players start to come back into the team, but they're still missing real key forward players. Ben Coop still not fully fit. Played about an hour after being brought on for Sam Griffiths last weekend. So Evans getting his chance here again. Poorly directed cross from Tanaka. Mackenzie Sidron is still out from a Manly United defensive perspective as well. O'Driscoll with a lovely pick out of de Robillard. Moved away from Sydney United for consistent starting football. He's had that this season with Manly United. He's won his team a free kick here. Direct forward running. Level as their top scorer this season with 3. Ian Griffiths locked on that number. Shipman. That floated ball out to the right-hand side again. Knocked on by Fulder for Jesse Perez, whose touch has betrayed him. Brought you that earlier result from UNSW over Wollongong. Slight upset, not really if you've been watching UNSW's form at the Village Green this year. They've been impenetrable there. Shock result last night. The Sydney FC were knocked over 6-0 by the Western Sydney Wanderers in the Academy Derby. Another misdirected cross from Tanaka, too deep for anybody wearing white. Maniti with a lovely first touch to escape the attention of Darcy Burgess. Tilt for Tanaka. A slight worry for Vlado Knezovic and Manly coming into tonight is no win in 3, which has put them back amongst the Pigeons heading into that game against St George City, I should say. Small crescendos for both these teams form, followed by stark drop-offs. Performances that warrant a little worry. New and off for Hillier. These two can be the bright spark for Manly United, along with Ono, who's got the taste of goal at the minute, but he's looking to play provider here with an audacious cross. Probably a step or two too early. Coaches love that early ball into the area. Ono might have been better advised to take an extra touch or two there. Grew up in a good system. Kikeru Ono was part of Urawa, Red Diamonds junior system, one of the biggest clubs in his native Japan. Travis Major throwing himself about at 36 years of age, or 35. Sorry, Trav, I've added a year there. Managed to win his team a free kick. He's missing his old partner in crime tonight, Mitch Marliott, and Mark Crittenden would dearly love to have back and available as often as possible, given his goal-scoring return so far this year. The limited number of games he's played. Major leading all scorers with 7, after only bagging 8 all of last campaign. City's all-time leading scorer. More than a decade on and off at the club now. Maniti. Grimaldi and Yej. Cutting pass for Sebastian Hayward. Beautifully covered off by Pires. Still one of the most underrated fullbacks in the competition, in this commentator's opinion. So tidy. Rarely puts a foot wrong. Bartelsarden has taken on an increased leadership role with such a young Manly United team around him. Longest tenured at this club of the starting lineup anyway. Should go and check that. I think it'll be a pretty close run thing between he and Ben Coop, who both returned to the club at about the same time. Who has spent some time away over the COVID pandemic with firstly Central Coast Mariners Academy up on the North Shore Mariners as they were called, and becoming the MacArthur Bulls. Ball to the left, Hayward. Searching for options centrally, didn't arrive, so he lays it back for Mark Simiesh. Easily cleared at the front post by O'Driscoll, kept alive by Maniti, and then turned over a little sloppy from Jackson Brown. Nick O'Brien has followed Darcy Burgess all the way deep into Manly's defensive half. He's done well to get out of that situation, Burgess. Evans thought he was being held. Referee disagreed. He's only blown a couple of free kicks in total in the opening quarter of an hour. Ivica Kovic, been a quiet night for him so far. Surely that won't continue for the entirety of the night, given what's on the line for both this evening. And Cooper Rogers, who's on the bench tonight, was given the opportunity in goal against Sydney United 58. Was beaten by an absolute belter from Mason Wells early in that game, and really Sydney United were out of sight by the 20-minute mark, winning by 3-0. Q was rather put in the rack for both teams. Sydney United happy to qualify for another round of 32, and Blacktown City, knowing the tight, tense end of the season they're going to have in any case, hence the 6 changes. Sure, Mark Crittenden would have liked to win that game, but not priority number one at this stage in the season. Hillier with just too many white shirts around him, turns it over. Good energy from Jackson Brown, and then a misplaced pass from Sebastian Hayward. He's worked hard, the 19-year-old. He's pretty experienced for a player of that age. Been in around the Blacktown City first team setup for a couple of seasons now. Pressed at different stages. Nice turn from de Robillard. Evans needs help. Took the ball away from Nick O'Brien. Ono breaking his neck to join in the attack. Evans again. Nice little 1-2 with Hillier. Kai Evans strikes the stanchion behind Caden Henderson's net, and the first big chance of the night created and almost executed by Kai Evans. Lovely little bit of interplay with Hillier, and it almost led to the opening goal. Wonder if Henderson had it covered. Had it been a yard or two to the right and inside the post. It's beautifully worked move from Manly United for the first time this evening, though. Maniti's come off worse for wear in that little tangle, which is another little worry for Mark Crittenden. He's got natural cover on the bench in Adam Berry. The experienced central midfielder, and he's been called over here. 28-year-olds, so key in their run to the championship back in 2022. Well, Ben has now departed the club, but that's looking as though it's going to be the end of the night for Maniti. So disappointing, given he's in rotation as a starter. He's not always first choice. That is a very disappointing start to the evening from the visitors' perspective. physio Alex Pucciarelli down there just offering a word of condolence. Adam Berry's just got to get his shin pads on. Blacktown City not too keen to rush this goal kick and get the ball back in play with just 10. It's all rather been rushed by Berry. And I think the refereeing team are going to insist that play starts here. Adam Berry not ready to come on. So the visitors continuing with 10, and so he thought of playing out is quickly banished, and Caden Henderson will just thump the ball downfield. Travis Major out-jumped by the much shorter Jesse Perez. He argued with a bit of help from Perez's right arm. To say, I can see where he was coming from, Trav. Just a bit of sting taken out of the game after Manly created the best chance of the opening 20 minutes or so. It's that man Evans, but this time he's marshalled well by Nick O'Brien, and Grimaldi happy to clear the ball upfield towards Major, who's bundled over by Chipman, and this time the free kick is awarded. And now Adam Berry is ready to join the action. So Jacob Maniti's
Number 2, Jacob Manini, and coming on the field is number 6, Adam Berry. Guys, need you outside of the flags, please. Here. This area's boarded off.
Yej cut off as he looked to play out to the left-hand side. A reminder, we've got more action coming your way on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel as well tonight. Spirit FC just kicked off against Apia Leichhardt up at Christie Park. Apia reeling from defeat a couple of weeks ago, 1-1 against Marconi last weekend. Run of 2 games without a victory for Franco Parisi's side is very unusual. Hayward making something of a lost cause there. And Jesse Perez having to dart back and clean up the mess made by Aaron O'Driscoll. Out of a hopeful long ball, Blacktown City have their first corner of the evening. A chance to put some pressure on young Harry Turner. The 18-year-old between the sticks for Manly United. Crowd of bodies between him. Almost every player on the pitch in the space of the 6-yard box as Berry readies himself to deliver. O'Driscoll first to the initial ball. Back in by Nick O'Brien. On by Tilt. And, well, he was all over the back of Jesse Perez there to try and get his head on the ball. Jack O'Brien. Desperate for the taste of goals again. It's his third start since coming back from the foot injury that kept him out for so long. End of last season, the beginning of this one. Jack O'Brien managed the 8 goals last campaign after being Blacktown City's top scorer well into double digits in the 2 preceding seasons. Missed his goal output so far this year. Not only is he yet to strike the back of the net, he's yet to register a win in a game that he started in the league. He's leading the press from the front here, and his pressure is enough to force the error from Chipman. Berry and Hillier coming together. Berry keeping his feet and winning the initial ball. Just not quite as precise as they'd like. Blacktown City in possession. That attacking end of the pitch. They're so good at taking chances that only needs a moment. Seen them play in different stages like this and then pull out a couple of goals in the blink of an eye. So no problem with the attacking output. If they could get into those areas more consistently, who knows where they'd be on the table. It's funny, if you look at the goal difference and some of the underlying statistics. In fact, they're as low down the table as they are Blacktown City. Could be put down to some misfortune as much as anything. The table is as it is. It doesn't care about the underlying statistics. It needs your team to start registering victories. Just 3 of them over the first 16 games of the league season is not seen as acceptable by a club as historic, the stature of Blacktown City. Turnover from Nick O'Brien. Burgess happy to run. Evans. Runner returning to his more senior teammate, and then another turnover, this time from Tilt. Not punished for the sloppiness playing out of their back line. Maxime Yeж would be well advised just to put his foot through this, and that's what he does. Nick O'Brien with a challenge just a moment or two late on Luke Newen, or in fact on Will Fulder. Cutting in off the right. Talk about the record Jack O'Brien's had. Will Fulder in his senior career so almost exclusively had victories. Both his starts this year have ended in wins for Manly United, home and away against St George City. Hillier leaving O'Driscoll with a bit to do, but he saw off the attention of Seb Hayward fairly simply. Former Newcastle Jet Nathan Grimaldi back there to clear the danger. Neuenhoff. O'Driscoll. Nice touch from Evans. Neuenhoff shepherded off it by Hayward. Yeж. The team's looking to the long ball over the last 5 or 10 minutes without too much luck. Hillier with a bit of space to run into through midfield. Burgess. Evans, closely attended to again. Nathan Grimaldi less than pleased with the decision given against him. Vitsakovic quick to rub out the bit of dissent being shown. Has let plenty go, but chose to take action that time, referee Kovic. It's a convenient time for the host Manly United. Such a promising attacking position. Come closest through Kai Evans' strike, which whistled wide of Caden Henderson's post about 8 minutes ago. Burgess, it's not much of an angle to work with. So he goes over everybody. Chipman working hard. Manly will recycle through Ono. Hillier. Bullet of a pass onto the chest of de Robillard. Stumbled over. Tanaka with a clip of the heels. Tell you what, these games have carried some fire with them over the last 4 years or so as well. 4 games that they played against each other in 2022, including the 2 knockout ties. But there was a bit of contempt between the two. It seems to have fizzled out over the last couple of seasons. Bit of a change in personnel across both squads. Manly have been through a couple of coaches since that campaign as well. Nice touch from Pires. It is the hosts with a majority of possession and territory in the opening half hour. Only really managed to create that one clear-cut chance, and they could be on the hook here with that turnover in a dangerous position. Major happy to go backwards for Grimaldi. Yeж, who's mostly been used as a central midfielder by Mark Crittenden this season. Deployed as a left wing-back tonight. Been getting into some promising attacking areas when Blacktown have had sustained spells of possession like this. It's their turn to play a bit of keep ball. Berry's ball forward, right on the money for Yeж. And now Major. Jackson Brown. Grimaldi joining in. Ran into a cul-de-sac, really. 2 Manly United defenders, and they're able to dispossess him. Burgess plays a pass forward for de Robillard. This is where Manly love to go in transition. Just lost his footing a little bit there. DeRobillard kept the attack alive. Ono's delivery, well cut off by Lachlan Tilt, who was hurrying back. But I'd say that's exactly the situation Blacktown City didn't want to get themselves in tonight, with Manly United allowed to break quickly in transition like that. Brings their first chance to deliver a corner kick this evening. And this is where Manly have been one of the more proficient teams in the comp. Tall timber to aim for. Good deliveries from players like Darcy Burgess. O'Driscoll lurking away by Major. Back in by Fulder. A couple of Blacktown City players combined to clear the ball. Nick O'Brien with a telling touch. And Turner just erring with his distribution a little. About the 16 years that Mark Critton has been in charge, Matt Bingley's been his lieutenant in the run of success they've had since the COVID pandemic. And it's actually he's doing a lot of the talking at the edge of the technical area in the early stages here tonight. It's rejig of the formation this evening. Has changed a little again with Berry coming on. He seems to be sitting a little deeper than Nick O'Brien, particularly when Blacktown City have possession. Tilt for Grimaldi, and now Yej. Tilt. Blacktown City Junior returning to the club this season after a couple of years away at the Wanderers Academy. It's a turnover for DeRobillard. Evans wants to run, has the ball at his feet, able to do so. Darting back inside. Tees it up for Burgess, further on for DeRobillard. Now Fulder, can he find the telling delivery? Not quite. Tilt clears. Second ball falls Manly's way. Hillier. Will he line up? Thinks better of that. Oh no. Still looking for the delivery. Manly just can't find an angle into the area. And Hillier eventually forced back by Jackson Brown. Blacktown wanted the decision, but I don't think they were ever going to get it. And Manly forced back. That's the segment of play I'm not sure that Vlado Kunazovic should be too delighted with. His team in a promising attacking area and forced to play it all the way back to their centre halves to retain the football. And the sting is well and truly out of the attack. Chipman. Maybe they'll put together a series of 20, 25 passes and find the back of the net, and I'll be proved horribly wrong. Driscoll searching for DeRobillard. Looking to run at Tanaka. He's pretty tenacious defensively. He's not going to be beaten in one-on-one situations like that too easily. Well and truly had the better of Stefan DeRobillard there. Interesting background, Kode Tanaka. He signed from regional relative giant BG Patum in Thailand. He's been a regular participant in the Asian Champions League Elite. That after 4 years in the US college system with 3 different universities. Finding his home in Australia alongside plenty of Japanese footballers in NPL competitions, particularly in New South Wales. Burgess for Evans, who didn't time his run. Neutrals to hold on to. It's really been that one clear-cut chance. Kai Evans little link up on the edge of the area with Saxon Hillier that had Caden Henderson diving for his post, but neither goalkeeper has been called into serious action in the opening 35 minutes here. Poor turnover from Nick O'Brien. Oh no. Then Manly United's first thought is backwards and just to retain possession. Hillier. Oh no. It's the sort of ball they're looking for from him. Evans provides the threat in behind and just forcing Nick O'Brien to take the safety first option. Pretty mild night in Sydney. Temperatures dropped a bit over the last 24 hours. It's been wet and warm during the week. Now it's getting a little cooler in clearer conditions. So this is probably preferable for the players. Kickoff temperature sitting around 18 degrees in the northern beaches. De Robelard's taking up that inside left position. He's done very nicely. Beat a couple, couldn't find Evans. Ricochets to Ono. Chipman. Searching ball to the back post. Well cut out by Grimaldi. Hit by Burgess. He's got that sort of quality in his right boot, but running away from goal, off balance. It was going to take something special. Henderson happy to watch the ball whistle wide of his post. Not quite the heart-in-mouth moment that Kai Evans provided on the 20-minute mark. Chipman, you have to say, against the experienced duo of Major and O'Brien, has more than held his own. Manly take the free kick quickly after de Robillard was felled. Looking up with Nieuwenhof. This time Jackson Brown wins the ball fair and square. De Robillard happy to press, overzealous. And Evans with a nice finish. It was never going to count. Just waiting for a moment from one team or the other to spark this game into life. It's been a game really where the two setups of the teams have rather cancelled one another out. That could change here. Yej's ball was very promising, and Jack O'Brien not too far away from giving Harry Turner something to think about. Brother Nick stepping through midfield. Lovely bit of skill. Just had him turning the wrong way, though, and so Burgess can run back in the other direction for Manly United. Pires with green grass in front of him. And numbers. Folder. Fleet of foot. Delivery didn't match the bit of individual skill. Blacktown inviting Manly's press there. Yej just forced to hoik the ball clear. Major claiming he was fouled, but looked to be backing into Nieuwenhof as soon as the ball left Yej's boot. Manly win the ball back. Chance for Pires to deliver. Oh, it's a good leap from Evans. But going through the back of Lockie Tilt in the process. Mighty vertical, but when the defender's got front spot there, more often than not, referee's whistle will go. So we resume this pattern of each team trying to unpick the other. Tanaka. Nice touch around Nieuwenhof and then escaped his little wrestling action as well there. Kodo Tanaka might look to go himself. Now introduces Yej into the attack. That's a good ball. Just over the head of O'Brien. Away by Ono. Berry. Love his ball-playing ability in this sort of area. Tanaka. drifted more and more centrally, but his touch betrayed him there. Oh, Fulder looking to go backwards and has played himself into trouble. Jack O'Brien looking to line up from distance. Still he goes on, looking to lob the keeper. Right on his line, Turner takes the ball. It's his first save of the night. Oh, and now Manly into another diabolical position. Hillier with a cooler head than the commentator to play his way out. Really the best chance that Blacktown City have generated, and it was off the back of a really sloppy turnover from Manly United inside their own half. This is a rather tidier sequence of play, and it's got them in a promising attacking position. With de Robillard. Only going one way. Didn't strike the ball as he wanted. Grimaldi clears. Neuenhoff brings it down. Hillier takes it on. Perez. Long high switch for Ono. Ono returns the favour. Right on the money for Jesse Perez. 1-2 with the heads. Strike on the left boot. Not Perez's favoured one. Flies high and wide of the target. Better from Manly though. Two gorgeous switches in that little sequence of play. Missing that end product, and that's been the story of their season so far. Light challenge from Evans on Grimaldi. In terms of goals scored, they are the third lowest behind the two St George sides. City only managing 14 across their 16 games. FC only 15. And United with 16 and 16 coming into tonight. It's less than even Sydney Olympic and Blacktown City, who are occupying those two relegation slots. A reminder, if you're new to this competition, bottom goes straight down to League One, no questions asked. Second bottom into the relegation promotion playoff with the second place finishing team in League One. The fourth year that we're playing that little encounter over two legs at the end of the year so far. League One teams looking to be promoted with a 2-1 positive record. George FC and SD Raiders have both won their way through in the past 3 seasons via that method. Don't want to be dragged into that as the NPL sides. Evans. Oh, it's a bending effort. That's twice he's been allowed to roam free into positions like that. This effort finishing rather wider of Caden Henderson's post, but worry amongst the Blacktown City defence, given the space he was afforded. Was plenty of venom on the strike, just missing the required direction. Now Manly United have fallen a little bit to sleep in their pressure. Tanaka. For Jackson Brown, linking up with him nicely, the Japanese fullback. Jackson Brown thinks better of the quick throw in the shadows of half-time. It's been that sort of evening to this point. Caution over real attacking intent for both. To get into promising positions like this and then work their way to goal. Tilt's going to line up for a long throw. Adam Berry sweeping up the second ball. Did it nicely too. Back for Nick O'Brien. This is only going one direction. Grimaldi's up from the back. Ono's header does not clear the danger. It's a good strike from Jackson Brown. It's taken out Chipman in the process. Play allowed to continue for now. And now Ivica forced to stop play because of the potential head injury. He's outspread eagle there, Jasper Chipman. There's plenty of venom in the strike, and yeah, just watching the replay quickly there, it's caught him in the back of the head. 1 minute expected to be added on. Just how long that lasts given the treatment that's going to need to be meted out to Chipman here. Player safety paramount in these situations. Football's record on concussion recently has not been the best, but let's hope it's not to a level where Chipman has to be removed here this evening. There is a natural replacement for him on the bench in the former Max Martinello. He's back from some injury issues of his own over the past month or so. Chipman is up talking to the Manly United physio now, which is a promising sign. Caught that ball flush, Jackson Brown. Still looking for his first goal in Blacktown City colours since returning to the club. Got a couple in the Australian Championship. Spent a short period with Spirit FC. Recruited cleverly for that competition. Chipman is back to his feet and making his way off the pitch under his own steam, which is a promising sign. I think we're going to have to wait and see whether he's able to continue in the second half. And more worryingly for Manly, they might have to defend here for just a moment with 10 players, because Blacktown City are going to have a drop ball. I think Jesse Perez is going to ask to play this ball back to Blacktown City in a position where they can start things rather than just let Blacktown have the ball. I think Ivica is saying we're going to continue with Blacktown in this attacking position. So a strange, not really set piece. Manly defending with 10, but needing to be wary, knowing that Jesse Perez can put pressure on the delivery. Very bizarre. And so here goes Maxim Yej. Don't think I've seen a restart like that before. Probably right in the spirit of play, all things considered. And Manly United avoid a talking point by managing to see off the initial attack from that drop ball. Blacktown City, be best advice to get the ball back in play. Can't imagine there's too much time left to be added on. One last bite of the cherry in the first half. Berry with half an idea about the ball forward. O'Brien back for Major. He's trying to belt the ball through there through sheer force of will. And referee Kovic brings the first half to a close. Manly United came closest. Two shots in anger either side of Caden Henderson's net from Kai Evans. Harry Turner not really forced into a meaningful save over the opening 45 minutes. So things to ponder for both Mark Crittenden and Blacktown City, as well as Vlado Knezovic and Manly United. Attacking opportunities few and far between in the first half. Hope Jasper Chipman will be back with us for the second half as well. But at the break from Cromer Park here, it's Manly United 0, Blacktown City 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see in front of us at the western side of the field, we have a small-sided game from our representatives here from the Mallarenga Football Association in Belrose, Terry Hills Raiders. A round of applause, please, for our future stars here from PDH Raiders.
Support the club as we cheer do RSC with 6 bars in Australia, including gallery bars. The sports bar and Northern Region, do RSC is a vibrant entertainment hub at the heart of our community. Do RSC, proud supporter of local football and the build of United FC. people recovering from injury to those simply looking to boost their overall quality of life. Come along and see for yourself. We can't wait to meet you.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know that Manly United's first grade next home game will be on Friday the 12th of June. Your Manly United FC will be taking on Sydney United 58. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll be back here tomorrow when your Manly United FC women's in NPL New South Wales Women's will be taking on Sydney University. Make sure you join us tomorrow and then join us again on the 12th of June for your Manly United FC. Back to you on a Friday night.
Need to kick some financial goals this year? With access to over 90 banks and lenders, no market broker can find the right loan solution to suit your unique circumstances. Whatever your ambition, Loan Market Loan can help you make it yours. Google Loan Market or call 13 Loan today.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the two teams back on the field for the second half of NPL New South Wales men. Blacktown City and your Manly United FC. The halftime score, Manly United 0, Blacktown City 0. And can we please ask at this stage, if all non-participants please start vacating the field. All non-participants please start vacating the field. And as that happens, ladies and gentlemen, a final round of applause for our representatives from Belrose, Terry Hills Raiders.
Welcome back to the second half here from Cromer. Manly United and Blacktown City locked goalless after 45 minutes. Clay Evans, the lone change for Manly United, and then forced one after Sam Griffiths' unfortunate injury in the opening 5 minutes of their game last weekend against St George City. But he's been the impact maker. Neither team mustering a shot on goal over the first 45 minutes. Jack O'Brien closest for Blacktown City. Just not able to latch on to a cross from Maxim Yej. Change of formation from Mark Crittenden has been the storyline of the first half, and have looked a little more rigorous defensively in their preparation tonight, Blacktown City, than has been the case over the majority of the first half of the season. See if things start to open up as both teams try and chase 3 points here. Blacktown City residing in the relegation playoff spots coming into the evening. 3 points here would jump them out of that ahead of St George City's kickoff against St George FC tonight. Point would leave them adrift still of both those two. SD Raiders game postponed this weekend because of the wet weather against Sydney Olympic. It's been rescheduled for early June. It's going to leave them with a glut of fixtures, so maybe a team that Blacktown City can target catching over the second half of the year. We're underway. Blacktown City in their change strip of all white and red socks. Manly United in their navy blue, kicking from left to right in their second half. So who can muster the goal to give this game some life? Next 45 minutes will hold the answer. No changes from either team at the break just yet either. Adam Berry was the lone change for Jacob Maniti from Blacktown City in the first half, sitting at the base of their midfield three. Big part of their 2022 championship campaign. And he's on the ball here. To retain possession. Manly United with the majority of the possession in the opening half. Majority of the territory as well. Just not able to make it count on the scoreboard. Nice turn from Nick O'Brien. Sees off Luke Neuenhoff. Belted away by Jesse Perez. The early momentum of this second half flipping in the visitors' favour. Very early flip. Falling as he played it forward, Jack O'Brien. You heard the collision between a couple of players there. And in fact, there has been a change from Manly United at half-time. Jasper Chipman, after copping that heavy blow to the head from Jackson Brown's strike. So Max Martinello, as we hinted at, might be returning, and he is. Got good memories of playing Blacktown City. He assisted that wonderful Alan Aganovich winner here 4 years ago in the preliminary semi-final. He's got defending to do here, though, with Seb Haywood making his way forwards. Nick O'Brien up in support. Turning, searching for support, found it through Haywood. Couldn't find the progressive pass to Jackson Brown that he was looking for. Oh, now it's Manly living dangerously, playing out of their own ends. Not able to play through Blacktown City's press. Tanaka was impressive in the first half. Martinello in a wrestling match with Major, who eventually lost his feet. Team keep his attack alive, though. Berry. Back to Nick O'Brien. Grimaldi. Running himself into trouble, bailed out by the referee's whistle. Fulder just having a nibble. Tilt stretching. Nice accurate pass. Crisp into the feet of Major, who couldn't see off the attention of two Manly United defenders. Martinello able to clear. Evans. Strong hold-up play. Hilliard. Burgess. Looking to slip the ball through for de Robillard. This is promising for Manly. Evans. Grimaldi at his back and then clutters into Tanaka in his attempts to win the ball back. Another Manly attack comes to naught. Interesting to see how soon the pace comes into the game, because it has been cautious from both teams. It's been defence first, it's been highly structured, not allowing any space for the other in the centre of midfield. We're seeing a lot of competition for loose balls like that. This time the decision going in Blacktown's favour. Not been one for the purists. Jack O'Brien might be able to give us a moment of magic. He lays it on for Tanaka, hangs it up near post, well read by Turner. Easy piece of goalkeeping as part of the Premiership campaign a year ago for Manly United in the 20s. Upset the apple cart by finishing top of the table before Appiah and Marconi played out the final. Manly United's under 20s were the best over 30 rounds though. Immense source of pride for the football club, so many of them grown from within the region as well. Evans starting up front today is a Forest Kalani Football Club junior. Grimaldi getting the better of him there. Perez wins the ball back. And then Jackson Brown takes it off him. This game is becoming more and more physical, and Neuenhoff, without eyes for the ball, concedes the free kick. It's been scrappy and physical in the first 5 minutes, so that probably suits Blacktown City a little more than Manly. Tanaka is going to be entrusted with the responsibility to deliver. Matty Bingley, you can see him in shot there, seems to be pointing for the Route 1 option, despite some others short. That was a badly mishit set piece, a waste. To the frustration of the coaching staff, understandably so. Chances are so few and far between as they've been tonight. Delivery from those situations is all the more important. Grimaldi in a foot race. It's never been a question about his pace as a central defender. Back there in cover. He's actually been used since he's on his way back into the team more often as a fullback by Mark Crittenden, but that's changed over the last couple of weeks. In fact, sorry, turn of phrase there. Has been used as a fullback. Has changed this evening to see him playing in the heart of defence again. O'Brien has it taken off him by Fulder and then bundles over Hillier. Play on for now, says the referee. O'Driscoll. Yesh still enthusiastic and energetic enough to cut off passing lanes like that. Perez playing beyond the press. Lovely outside of the foot pass for Martinello. Martinello turning on the ball, but it was a ball more in hope than anticipation. Another sphere has found its way onto the ground. Not sure quite how that got there. Thankfully not interrupting open play. Head tennis between both sets of players. Robillard with the telling ball over the top. Henderson sweeping up, not a convincing clearance. Found Hayward, fortunately for him. And Yesh can stride forward. Advantage played by the referee. Major. Swept away by Martinello. Returns by Nick O'Brien. Right to the foot of Travis Major. Hayward. Berry. Searching cross. Only picked out blue shirts. Another chance to swing one in for Lockie Tilt. Now Grimaldi. This is better from Blacktown City. Moving the ball crisply. Sort of the situation Manly United found themselves in for the majority of the first half, trying to break down a very well set defence. Grimaldi. Easily cut off by covering action of Will Fulder. What a heap of attacking options. Well, I'll tell you what, young attacking options for Mark Crittenden to go to if he does opt to move that way. Nicholas Skataric has been high on energy and intent, but low on goals for the last couple of months. Riley Nolan, it's just a lone goal against Wolves a few weeks back. That was a stunning strike when he did produce it. And Julian Rodriguez has shown glimpses that he could be the next excitement machine, very much in the vein of a Marty Fernandez of years past. They might not need them because there's a chance here for Tanaka. What a save by Turner. So athletic. And showed pretty good reactions as well to keep that effort out. Looking for his first league goal for Blacktown City. Wasn't too far away from producing it. 10 minutes into the second half, we have our first real chance of the evening. Berry to deliver the corner. Crowd of bodies. Grimaldi into a promising area. Might get the ricochet as well. Ono in his back. That was a wild cross from Grimaldi. Shout of an expletive that found its way all the way across the ground. Understandably frustrated, but perhaps an attack just to buoy Blacktown City somewhat. Show that their intent is not going completely without rewards up the attacking end, and Yej going down under the challenge of Jesse Perez, and he stayed down as well. Vitsakovic is unrelenting in his opinion that there was no foul there. Very unusual challenge. I think Perez did actually make contact with the ball, but the challenge sort of rode up into the shin of Maxim Yej. Wouldn't have tickled. And Grimaldi's won it back from the throw anyway. He's fallen, Maxim Yej. Good intent from Jackson Brown, just to nick the ball off the blind side of O'Driscoll. Keep the pressure on Manly United. They've come out with a renewed vigour in this second half, Blacktown City. Look, a different team to the team that really defended their way through the first 45 minutes. Grimaldi. Jack O'Brien just looking for that touch to spark his season into life as well. Ono's clearance didn't have enough mustard on it. Tanaka has come closest to opening the scoring for either team tonight. Nick O'Brien. And Yej's touch lets him down off the surface. Away from Mark Crittenden towards Nicholas Skataric, so looks as though the young striker is going to be with us sooner rather than later. Just who he replaces is going to be interesting, because you'd think he'd move into the role currently being occupied by one of Travis Major and Jack O'Brien. Along with Marley are the most consistent sources of goals for Blacktown City over the past 3 seasons. Neuenhoff trying to get Manly down the other end, which they haven't been for really the last 10 minutes or so. To the point you wonder if Vlado Knežević is considering changes as well. Likes of Ben Coop and Ayumu Kimura, who was last weekend's hero. But it's Blacktown who are going to their hand first. Being the next stoppage. Tanaka throwing this one in towards Major. O'Brien linking up with Hayward. Major looking to stride past Ono, the Japanese defender, well positioned. I think Manly United would like to get Darcy Burgess on the ball a little more often than they've been able to tonight as well. more in the first half than they've had the opportunity to in the second. They've just not had enough of the football, really, since half-time. It's been a 15-minute dominant spell for Blacktown City. They'd love a goal to show for it. Yej. Grimaldi. Tilt. On for Tanaka. Crossing with the left foot towards Jack O'Brien, away by O'Driscoll. And eventually swept clear by Fulda. And Burgess able to think his way through the onrush of white shirts. Now Ono can stride forward, as he loves to do. And they're building from the back again. Haven't been as keen to go in transition as we usually see them tonight. I think part of that can be put down to Blacktown City's defensive discipline. Just looked improved this evening. Much needed touch from Neuenhoff, and it might have played Manly through Blacktown's press here. Fulda. Beautifully weighted ball for de Robillard. This is a chance for the host, de Robillard. Didn't catch the ball as cleanly as he would have liked. Nice sequence of play, but again, the final touch missing. And now, that's the change we hinted at. Nicholas Skateric replacing Jack O'Brien, still not long back from that long-term injury, so perhaps not a surprise to see him withdrawn just after the hour mark. Still waiting that first goal in. Ticking towards a year now. Most of that down to injury, but little gaps either side of that as well. Can Skateric link up with Major? Or with his old mate Maxim Yej, playing junior football together since their ages were still in single digits, and they link up together here. Skateric can't ride the challenge of Perez though. Neuenhoff. It's good work from Jackson Brown just to put enough pressure on. Manly still scrapping the ball forward. Burgess through traffic again. Just too many white shirts back there. Been so dogged and determined around the edge of their 18-yard box today. Blacktown City, and immediately the running power of Nicholas Skateric has brought the first yellow card of the evening for Manly United. Goes to Saxon Hillier. So the change bringing in an immediate reward in kind. Actually in transition for Blacktown City. They all unfolded as well. Manly United readying a double change of their own. Ben Coop and Ayumu Kimura. Coop has good memories of this fixture. Got a brace against Blacktown City. And they'll score a corresponding one last year. For Lucas Meek scored a 92nd minute winner. An American who was short on luck at his stint in Australia, but did have his finest nights late last season. Now, Maxim Yej has handled that before the ball went out of play. It was a sporting act, but it's cost his team a free kick. Bit of a brain fade in the Blacktown City number 10, and now the double change comes from Manly. So Coop, the experienced head, relatively, in this Manly United squad. Call him that. Still only 24 years of age, replacing his fellow Forrest Kalani Jr. up front. And Kimura replacing Fulda, who's taken his position in the starting side over the last few weeks. 24-year-old Japanese winger is fresh off a goal last weekend. Vlado Knezovic hoping he can provide the telling moment tonight as well. A Manly United win here would really elevate them well out of relegation pressure. 4 points is a nice buffer, but 7 points is not certain safety this far out from the end of the year, but it would take a dramatic fall, and some of the teams below them finding pretty rich veins of form altogether to drag them back into that little wrestling match. Jackson Brown just tugging at the shirts of Saxon Hilliard. Perez is asking Kimura to run for him and found his feet, but his touch betrayed him. The first impact he wanted after coming off the bench. Kimura played his junior football in Kyoto, the Sanaga club. Brought over to Australia by Gungahlin, where he was playing last season, the club that have since folded in capital football, sadly. Well, Skataric able to turn, came off the face of Martinello and going straight back to Blacktown City's number 9, laying it off for Major, whose cross was lacking. Player of his standard will be expecting a little more for himself in those clinical areas. It's been a case of that for both teams tonight. Still 22, 23 minutes to find the defining moment, though, since so many games in the NPL New South Wales this year decided in the final 15 minutes after real arm wrestles for the majority of these games. One moment in the closing stages can make all the difference. Dummy from Burgess, and a first touch for Ben Coop since coming off the bench. Blacktown City don't have happy memories of him. Lays it off for Burgess. Hillier. Neuenhoff. Now Perez. Yes, across again. He's been diligent. Not always his tidiest tonight, Maxim Yesh, but it's not always what you need from a wing-back. Positioning as important as anything. Perez goes the longest option. Yesh leaping to clear. Major with the big Irishman O'Driscoll all over him. The Cherry Orchard club, he played his junior football, Aaron O'Driscoll. Churned out plenty of terrific Irish footballers. Spending a couple of seasons ago down at Altona in the NPL Victoria. Short stints at Christchurch over in New Zealand's national competition. Be one you'd sort of be, without wanting to sell him on from Manly United, we're enjoying watching him in this competition, but one you'd think would come to the attention of a South Island United or a team like that in the OFC Pro League, which has just finished up. Blacktown City have won their way into this position through a series of free kicks, and now Maxim Yesh is in a promising enough position to deliver. Well, it's too deep for anyone wearing white. Lachlan tilt out jumped, and Ono happy to just see the ball over the touchline. Some scores from elsewhere because a couple of concurrent games happening. Spirit FC and Apia have found their way to half-time with the scores level, and the St George derby has just kicked off between Saints and City. A minute into that one, there's yet to be a goal, unsurprisingly, down at Barton Park. And those teams keeping an eye on their results tonight if you're a Manly United or Blacktown City supporter, given their involvement in the relegation battle now. St George FC, after not conceding for their opening 6 games, have gone on a historic losing streak. It's reached double figures now. In danger of reaching a very unwanted record set by Parramatta about 13 years ago now. Longest losing streak in the NPL era. They were relegated that year in Melita. Manly United have been able to wrestle back some of the impetus in the last 10 minutes or so, but yet to create a real clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity as they were able to in the first half through Kai Evans. His replacements have been rather starved of service. Hillier for Ono, Burgess. De Robillard, can he be the man to make the difference? It's a gorgeous switch of play for Kimura, just overhit. Ball bending away from the Japanese winger. Wait goes on for an opening goal here. Not wanting to be too harsh. At times they brought the worst out of each other this evening. Defensive discipline has won the day over attacking quality, to this point anyway. Can all change. Coop with Grimaldi in his back. He's improved his hold-up play over the last couple of seasons, Ben Coop, but he's still a player who prefers to make runs in behind off the shoulder. Chance to try and link play here. He did it nicely. Half volley over to Kimura. Nick O'Brien in his back, timed the challenge beautifully, and not only did that, but kept the ball in play as well. Brilliant piece of defensive work from Nick O'Brien. Commanding header from O'Driscoll. Nice back heel from Skateric, and O'Driscoll brings down Major. Is going to be saved by the covering run of Saxon Ilya. Otherwise, Major was clean through. And so the Irishman escapes with just a yellow card. Second booking and a half going Manly United's way. And ironically enough, I think Ilya, who picked up the first, has probably saved O'Driscoll further punishment there. Promising from Blacktown City, though. Well work move down the left that created space for the 35-year-old legs of Major. Still got just as much run in them as he ever did. And now he might be a target from this set piece as Berry's ball is bent in. A couple of Manly United players combining to clear the danger. Nick O'Brien launching the ball forwards again. Cut out by Ono this time. Skateric. Been positive since coming on, but he's taken a touch too many there. Now Coop can try and go the other way for Manly. Similar error in his pass. The two number 9s trading turnovers. Now it's Berry's turn to run forward. Yaj stretching for that ball. Bundled over by Pires. Free kick given. In a promising position again for Blacktown City. I don't think it's by design, but the runs of Maxim Yej are causing Manly United headaches. Perez arguing his case, but he was second to that. This is almost going to act as a corner kick so far down and into the near side is Yej. So a few in a line to aim for here. Plenty to come across. Yej's delivery. It's a good one. Just missed Major. Tanaka! Second time. He's had Turner diving away. The first time to tip over his crossbar. This time, happy to see the ball skid wide of his post. Just over a quarter of an hour to play. Game of two halves in the sense that Blacktown City have had all the possession and territory in the second half after ceding most of it to Manly in the first. Need to keep their concentration though. And Yej has been an improved performer in the second half, but he turns that one over cheaply. Pires galloping forward. Major covering. Relentless, Travis Major. And Yej work it out between themselves. And Yej finds his old mate Skateric. Blacktown City looking buoyed with confidence in the closing stages. I say that Major loses the ball. Clearance comes straight back to him from Martinello, and Skatric has nobody near him. So a chance to get his head up and deliver. It's dangerous. Tanaka! Not third time lucky for him. And there'll be a feeling that he probably had time to pick his spot there and at least hit the target. Another chance for Blacktown City goes begging. It's not something he said too often about them this season. Usually been so clinical in front of goal. It's been one of their redeeming features this season. Amongst trouble down the bottom, yes, but still right in with a chance of hauling themselves well and truly out of it. Had they taken one or two of the chances here this evening, they would be clear of the relegation playoff spot come the end of the night. Not to be. Well, they're going to be really careful they don't cop a blow the other way, because a loss and suddenly the end of the season becomes a lot darker in complexion. Chance to shoot for Burgess. Drags his effort wide of Henderson's post. This game just starting to open up a little, though. Trading opportunities within a matter of moments. I haven't had a spell like that for the entirety of the evening, up until now. Feel the most intriguing moments of this match are still to come in the closing stages. A little bit of a let off there. Clumsy foul from Hayward. It's bundled over Hillier. Hillier. O'Driscoll. Perez. Kimura off the shoulder of Yaj and delivers early for Coop. Heroic piece of defending from Lachlan Tilt. Had to get there ahead of Manly United's number 9 and was there in the nick of time to turn the ball away. But it's been the directness of both teams that's been the difference. Those balls played in behind have caused more headaches for the defence than seeing passing moves put together in front of them. Now a chance for the killer blow from the set piece. Ozono's over to deliver. Curling in towards Henderson, who saw it the whole way. It's catching practice for the former Australian schoolboys goalkeeper. It's been about the extent of his work in the second half. He might have released a cutting counter-attack. Wasn't quite the case as Skataric gets the ball back. Yej, good athleticism. This is not the best stuff to slide on here at Cromer. Couldn't begrudge the effort, but there'll be a thick carpet burn there for Maxim Yej to deal with in the morning. Game that's not really had its crescendo. Manly trying to build to that now. Oh no. Hurried by his countryman Tanaka. Into the corner. Throwing goes Manly's way. To Robillard. Hillier. Manly build from the back. Their best period of the second half, really, in the last 5 minutes. Grimaldi picks off the forward pass. Encouragement coming from both benches. There's an understanding of the fact that despite neither producing their finest football tonight, that will matter little if they're able to come away with all 3 points. And there's still a very big opportunity to do just that. Grimaldi just dismissing Coop as he was the intended target of the throw-in. Scrappiness continues. This is the moment for Blacktown City. Haywards. Oh, he's escaped the attention of both Manly United midfielders. Advantage, says referee Kovic, as Major takes the ball wide. Just to float one to the back post beyond Skataric. And he can't stop the ball from going out to play. Kimura. Grimaldi laying in the challenge. Skataric trying to affect O'Driscoll's clearance, but he's seen that all before, the Irishman. Poor ball out from Perez. Covering challenge from Max Martinello, stepping out there to dispossess Skataric. The Robillard, who's really been on the outskirts of the action in this second half after being pretty central to it in the first, and no one's picked him up through the centre of the park here. And the pass forward is misdirected though. Burgess, Neuenhoff. Perez calling for the ball on the near side. Goes route one, so up towards Coop. Cleared by Tilt, and the flag was up against Ben Coop, who returned from an offside position. Disappointing for Manly because Saxonelia was getting to strike the ball on the half volley. Well, Nolan's been the source of a couple of moments of magic this season for Mark Crittenden. He's hoping he can provide another. The end of the night for Caleb Jackson-Brown. The typical hard-working performance you expect from him. Plenty of ground covered. It's been the recompense of both teams tonight. There's no shortage of effort and physical output. It's just a lack of attacking quality to go with that. Both teams responsible for that. Could turn the tides and the narrative in the final 7 minutes. Yesh, brilliant sliding challenge from Neuenhoff. Perfectly timed. I know he's striding out of defence as well. Kept the ball from going out of play. Coop. Down for Burgess. Gets it back off him. They got numbers here, Manly. Switch for de Robillard. His touch took him a little wider than he would have liked. Ono in support. To get it back off Hillier, who fell as he was trying to play the ball at that critical juncture. Manly regather themselves and set up for another attacking foray. Blacktown's press is all but non-existent at this stage of the game. De Robillard. Blacktown really did dominate this game. The first half hour or so of the second half, they have been on the back foot since then. Neuenhoff, Kimura, Perez. Half away by Nick O'Brien. Oh, and Burgess was that close to giving Manly the lead. Slight deflection. The recovery might well have saved the visitors there. because Burgess's strike was struck with terrific technique. And it just whizzed over the top of Caden Henderson's crossbar. Nick O'Brien recovering. The clearance, which was only really a half clearance, saved the day. Now more defending to do for Blacktown. And O'Brien in the way again. So, well, it could have been his shoulders. The defining error of the evening fell on. Did well to recover and make sure that wasn't the case. But Blacktown are hemmed back in their own half. Hillier's ball in. Nodded down by Coop. Headed behind by Yej. Blacktown City have left their last stand for the last 5 minutes as Manly United continue to rain pressure on their goal. Oh no, to deliver. Hillier offering the short option, and he takes it. Dangerous ball. Grimaldi read it really nicely to head clear. It's not the telling clearance Blacktown City are looking for, though, and Max Martinello is going to be loaded up to deliver the long throw. O'Driscoll forwards. Neuenhof's got plenty of height as well. Ben Coop's got a good vertical leap. It's Neuenhof the target, away by Nolan. Initially anyway, and he clatters the ball into the Manly United player. And Blacktown City might just be out now. Precious time taken off the clock. The dying embers of this game, every second is precious to both teams. Martinello not able to affect the ball as he would have liked. His team need to get in and support. Yej forward for Blacktown. Is this the moment? Travis Majors unmarked. Ball just skipped away from him. Squares it up for Berry. Major, enterprising run into the area. Half away, Skataric took an air swing. Tanaka. And Yej is there! He was onside as well. Didn't get the purchase needed on the header. Both teams have had chances to win it late. Still, we could find a defining goal. Good challenge from Grimaldi on Coop. Snuffed out Manly's attack. Oh, Blacktown City choosing a very interesting time to try and play out. Hillier from a pretty dodgy looking throw. De Robillard. Stefan De Robillard. Good block from O'Brien. In fact, it was tilt hitting the deck. And then Tanaka calm enough to just run the ball out of trouble before heaving it downfield. And Martinello's clearance has fallen right to the feet of Nolan. Likes to run with the football, but Perez snuffed that attack out. Coop. Appeals for handball, waved away, and Kimura's got space. Can he tee up a telling delivery? He can. Burgess's touch escapes him. De Robillard. Hillier. Ono. Running it to Naka. Thinks better of that. Squares it up for Hillier. Burgess away from O'Brien. And Perez pretty happy to just thump the ball into Skataric. Time is ticking away, but there's going to be a little bit added on at the end of the second half here. So Manly not panicked just yet, but urgent. Three points here would take them 7 clear of the relegation playoff spot, launch them into the relative safety of mid-table. Ono's ball front post, half away by Nick O'Brien. Hillier. Perez. Martinello's waiting at the back post. Former left back delivers from that position. Swept away by Grimaldi. Watching the clock as much as the action now. Some of the players. Nolan for Major. I wonder if Blacktown have just settled for a point. So make the move away. Wait with bated breath for Alec Bale to tell us just how much time is added on at the end of the true 90. Skitaric sees off Pires, sends him to the turf. And easily cleared by Ono. It's a ball escape Major. Game pattern suiting Manly in the dying stages. As it becomes more end-to-end, I tell you what, that was park stuff though, from Ono and de Robillard. Ono playing it right into his teammate's noggin. The old Falcon for poor old Stefan de Robillard. Tanaka. Flicked on by Skitaric. We're beyond 3 hours of football this season between these two without a goal. Pires. Will stoppage time bring the first? It would be all the more dramatic because of that fact now. Pires. Kimura's made the run in behind. Grimaldi breaking his neck to cover off. Nick O'Brien well positioned. Burgess. Hillier. De Robillard. Let's fly. Blocked by Tilt. Probably been Blacktown City's best this evening. From a defensive perspective, certainly. It's not a short list tonight. It's been a much improved display. The switch to the back five from Mark Crittenden has done wonders. Manly have been unable to break them down. Neuenhoff. Very happy to stop him by fair means or foul. It was certainly the latter, and he's the first Blacktown City player booked this evening. In the shadows of full time. So, one last chance, you'd think, now for the hosts. We're ticking to the final allotted minute of stoppage time. Probably the easiest decision Ivica has had to make tonight. Everybody thrown forward, not urgent enough for Harry Turner, considering there's still a point to hold on to as well. All 11 Blacktown City players back defending this. Oh, Henderson came a long way, got half a fist to it. Burgess committed. Challenge on Berry was fair, and the ball's fallen to his feet. Burgess twisting, turning, couldn't find an option. And Skitaric lets the ball run beyond him. Time is almost up. One last bite of the cherry. Martinello sends it forward. Tilt half clear. Coop, strong. And Nick O'Brien well positioned. Appeals for handball, all coming from the stands, and perhaps a sign of desperation. Haven't had much to sing about the Manly United fans this evening, and probably a deserved result, all things considered. Both teams created half chances, neither a clear-cut one over the course of 90 minutes, and so for the second time this season, Manly United and Blacktown unable to separate themselves at any stage over the course of 90 minutes as the game ends scoreless. Thank you for your company tonight on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Hope you enjoy your Saturday night and join us for the rest of the evening's action. Marconi and Rockdale just about to kick off in the southwest. Sydney United and Sutherland, the lone Sunday kick-off in the men's competition. But it's goodbye from Cromer, where the final score is Manly United 0, Blacktown City 0.